Preview.
Updated August 15, 2017 08:0045. As President Donald Trump has denounced neo-Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan as criminals and thugs, bowing to mounting political pressure after initially saying many sides were to blame after a white nationalist rally turned deadly in Virginia. Key points: critics say the president waited too long to denounce white supremacists over the violence. James Alex Fields fronts court over death of woman. A rally businessman withdraws from Mr. Trump's business panel over his lack of action. Mr. Trump had been assailed by Republicans and Democrats alike for failing to respond more forcefully to Saturday's violence in Charlottesville, in which a woman was killed when a man crashed his car into a group of counter-protesters. Critics said the president had waited too long to address the bloodshed and slammed him for initially saying that many sides were to blame, rather than explicitly condemning white supremacists widely seen as sparking the melee. Racism is evil and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans, Mr. Trump said in a statement to reporters at the White House. Mr. Trump said America showed its true character in such times, responding to hate with love and to division with unity. We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry and violence, he said. It has no place in America. No matter the color of our skin, we all live under the same laws. We all salute the same great flag. And we are all made by the same Almighty God. 20-year-old James Alex Fields, who is facing charges including second-degree murder for plowing his car into protesters opposing the white nationalists, killing Heather Heyer and injuring 19 people, was denied bail at an initial court hearing on Monday. Fields is said to have harbored Nazi sympathies as a teenager. Mr. Trump said anyone who engaged in criminal behavior over the weekend in Virginia would be held to account. High-profile businessman quits post over Trump silence. Democratic Senator Mark Warner of Virginia said he wished Mr. Trump would have said those same words on Saturday. I'm disappointed it took him a couple of days, he said. Earlier, in a strong rebuke to Mr. Trump, the chief executive of one of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies, Merck Co. Inc., resigned from a business panel led by the president, citing a need for leadership countering bigotry. CEO Kenneth Frazier, who is black, did not name the president in his statement, but the rebuke was implicit. America's leaders must honor our fundamental values by clearly rejecting expressions of hatred, bigotry and group supremacy, Mr. Frazier said. In response to Mr. Frazier's resignation, Mr. Trump tweeted, "Now that Ken Frazier of Merck Pharma has resigned from President's Manufacturing Council, he will have more time to lower rip-off drug prices." Weekend disturbances began when white nationalists converged to protest against plans to remove a statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee, the commander of rebel forces during the U.S. Civil War. The violence prompted vigils and protests from Miami to Seattle, including some targeting other Confederate statues. Such monuments have been flashpoints in the United States, viewed by many Americans as symbols of racism because of the Confederate defense of slavery in the Civil War. Reuters topics: Donald Trump, race or relations, murder and manslaughter, crime, law, crime and justice. United States first posted August 15, 2017 05:08:33.